Hey guys, it's Wednesday, which means it's time to do our thing. This is Whiskey Blooded. My name is Dave, and this is a bottle of High West Bourbon Rye, known as Bourye, which is from the High West Distillery in Park City, Utah. It's up to 16 years old, which means it's an older bottle. It'll run you around $80, $80 to $90, depending on where you're at. And like I said, it's distilled in Park City, Utah. It's a non-chill filtered bottle. It's a straight blend of straight whiskeys, so you've got bourbons, you've got ryes, they're all straight, and they're being blended together to give you this craft taste that we're looking at here today. So let's jump right into our normal review, or normal format. We're going to go through talk about the whiskey, we're going to go through the color, the nose, the taste, and the overall score. So I've already poured myself a drink here, and as you see, I've kind of gotten part of the way through this bottle over the last few months. It is definitely something that's different. It's pricey, but it's still good. So let's take a crack at the review today. So here we go. We've got the color. Now the color is amber, meaning that it's just below that gold level where it's getting into some of the darker tones, but it's not too dark. And my guess is that because we've got a lot of rye content there, it's not ever going to get into the super dark category. It is an older whiskey, which is why it's a little bit darker. I remember when I nosed it last time, so let's move on to the nose, that it had some lighter candied fruit smell to it, and I'm definitely getting that now. I'm getting lighter candy, I'm getting caramel, oak, and that's mainly what I'm getting. It's a pretty clean nose, and nothing's overpowering. I'm not getting too much of the spice that you would expect from a rye, which definitely, leads to the fact that this is probably more bourbon than rye. Now the taste on this one matches that fairly well. But still a little spiced. I like it up front. I'm getting hit with those dried fruits, a little cinnamon, some oak, a little bit of pecan, some molasses. It's some toffee, like a toffee caramel kind of taste at the back. So what that tells me is it's why it's got, I think, a good blend of the bourbon and the rye. On the bourbon side, on a normal bourbon, you're going to get that charring or toasting of the barrel. So on the back end, I'm getting those caramel, toffee, little butterscotch, a little bit of oak. That's where I'm getting the bourbon. But on the rye side, that's where I'm getting more of those dried fruits, the molasses, a little bit of the spice. The rye is really going to bring out some of those fruitier, spicier flavors. And I think this does a good job of blending the two. So, like I mentioned, it's up to 16 years old, which means not everything in here is 16 years old, it just means up to that age. As far as if someone was to ask me on this bottle, is it bourbon, is it rye, is it, kind of balance them, I would say 60% bourbon, 40% rye. Maybe 65% bourbon, 35% rye. It's a little more on the bourbon side, which is, I think, why I like it. Rye on that end it's getting some of those subtle flavors, those subtle notes, but it's not overpowering on the rye side. Bourbon, I feel, is never too overpowering on its own. So we've got those nice bourbon tones, we've got those nice rye tones. They all kind of mix together quite well, surprisingly, because a lot of these bourbon rye mixes don't do so well. There's a couple other companies out there that mix them, and I'm not going to say which ones without reviewing them first, but there's a couple other ones that mix them, and they don't do quite a good job. And this being considered a craft distillery, it's trying different things, this actually does quite well with it. I really do like it. I've tried it in a couple mixed drinks. I like it on its own. It's pretty good. You can definitely feel that rye in it, but it's still quite smooth. It's not too much either way. So, overall, I do like this bottle a lot. To give you my overall score here, I'm going to say an 89 out of 100. So it's definitely up there as far as the review goes, but it's not the best bottle because of the price. It's quite expensive. They also have a bottle known as the Son of Bourye, which is a younger, less expensive bottle. It's about half the cost. So if I was going to recommend someone to try High West products, number one, they have a lot of products in the $30 to $50 range that are quite good for being, something from Utah, which isn't an area we expect a lot of bourbon and whiskey to come from. I would say start off there. Start off with the Son of Bourye before you buy the bottle of Bourye, and try that out fresh. I've actually had great things said about that one. I don't have a bottle myself, but I've had great things said about that one for the price range. It's supposed to be a really good bottle. This one I would say is an above average, very good bottle, but it doesn't make it into my excellent range, which I would put anything in the 90s as far as excellent. You know, just like your grades back in school. In the 90s would be A's, and in the 80s would be B's, and the 70s would be C's. So I would put this at the above average, you know, B plus level, which is why I have it at the 89 rating. But like I said, it's still overall good, a good product, good for the money. A little expensive. I feel you're still getting your money's worth, but maybe not for someone that's really like, you know, just getting into whiskey, really looking to buy that one really flashy bottle of bourbon. This is not the bottle. This is something that if you're looking to try something new, drop a little bit of money, and you want to try a different kind of bottle, I would try this one. So once again, guys, this is the High West Bourye from Utah. Let me know what you think. Comments below. Also, as you know, last week the website went up and running. So if you want to go to whiskeyblended.com, let me know what you think about the bottle on the website. The review will be up in a couple days. And post your comments there or on YouTube here. And once again, guys, enjoy your whiskey. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks, guys. Bye.